Hello, you guys. This episode today is going to be in reference to the episode that I aired yesterday. Now, you don't have to go and watch the episode I aired yesterday, but if you're confused about what's going on in this story with this conspiracy and this hijacking of a lineage, if you don't understand the nuances of traditional yoga, I would at that point go into just rewatching the video from yesterday, but otherwise. This is going to be a TikTok live that was done by Todd and Mariela a few weeks ago. It aired on Todd's channel, The Confused Wanderer. You can go subscribe down below, and it also has been all over Instagram. But I wanted to go ahead and air it here as well because it's so important. It's such an important conversation. Now, before we get into it, I did want to go ahead and remind you guys about Fusion Body Studio. We have renamed and relaunched the Esoteric Academy as Fusion Body Studio, an online fitness boutique. So it's a gym, an online gym. But we also strive to help you understand spirituality with exercise. So I've taken all of my knowledge from India and I've compartmentalized it into an online platform. We also have other forms of exercise too. So it's not just yoga. We have barre, we have strength training, walking videos, cardio dance videos. I just finished a cardio country, and I'm not a country music lover, but I did film for our group. We even have a little alchemist for kids. The cardio country can also be done with your children as well. We do 2 to 4 new workouts a month. And we also have Ashtanga Yoga on there. So if you would like to join the Fusion Body Studio, you can use my name, Bryce20, at checkout, all caps, BRICE20 at checkout for 20% discount on your first 6 months with us. You also get the first 7 days for free, you guys. So all that will be down in the description box below. And with that being said, let's get on with the show.
Hi there, I am live, and today we have a very interesting and important session with a wonderful friend of mine, with someone that I respect and that I know is gonna really pierce into many of the misunderstandings that have been happening in the last 9 months after my Guruji's Sharad Joy's death. So my name is Mariela Cruz, and I am speaking from Madrid, Spain, and I am Costa Rican by origin, and I have lived in India for the past 7 years. I was the ambassador of Costa Rica to India, and I traveled a lot in India with the Ministry of Ayush, which is the ministry that is in charge of all the holistic sciences in India. So I have a pretty good perspective of what the Yoga Parampara means, but also is very refreshing to see how many of my colleagues that have been writing me privately are coming forward, are feeling this inner strength to stop being divided, let's say fragmented, and really speak what they have been thinking, what they have been sharing with me. And Todd is a beautiful example of this, and I'm so grateful. So since last February that I went to the Sharad Yoga Center, I have been very shocked about what has been happening, about what happened there while I was there. So this is what we're going to speak about in this live. And before we start, I would like to offer this space to my teachers, all of my teachers that are alive and that are in other planes, but that I know are here with me, supporting me. Sharaji always used to say, protect the Dharma and the Dharma will protect you. And the Dharma is the right thing, is the discernment to understand when something is wrong and when something is right. And even if we're doing all the advanced series in Ashtanga Yoga and we don't know what is right, then wow, we're going to be in deep trouble, because that means that somehow we are lost. And I know many of us have been feeling lost after the premature passing of our teacher. But what I have to say is that people like Todd inspire us all to keep going and to never betray what he taught us. So please close your eyes. Let's ask all the teachers for their protection, for their wisdom. Let's ask them to give us the inner strength and the courage to speak our truth and walk the talk. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Vyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. This mantra is very special because it speaks about the relationship between student and teacher. It speaks about the enthusiasm and the inspiration we give each other to keep going, the vigor, the strength that is needed in the spiritual path, because the path of tapasya, the path of sacrificing everything for everything, is the path of yoga. Yoga is about letting go of illusions, is about being true to ourselves. And what has been happening in the Ashtanga community in the past 9 months is something very sad, very serious, and that's why Todd is here. And I welcome you, Todd. Thank you so much. The silence, it feels scary, it feels lonely, but at some point, if we don't do it, then we are gonna feel really, really bad with
Oh,
ourselves.
hey, I'm on.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you
I'm
doing?
so happy to see you. Good morning in
Happy to see
Atlanta.
you. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, of
And
course.
I'm sorry Bryce couldn't join us, but she will see this after.
Yeah,
Thank you, Todd. So,
you're
the
welcome.
space is yours. I really am here just to hold space for you to speak. I have been speaking and writing too much, I think. So
No, you haven't.
now it's your
No.
turn. And I know
Yeah.
that you were very close to Sharaji and the family. And I feel so
Uh-huh.
honored to meet you and this deep respect that you have for the lineage. And I'm just all ears. Please,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for being
Yeah.
here.
So, a lot of people really aren't aware who I am because I don't really post on social media a lot. I
Yeah.
haven't tried to become a public figure, but I've
Mhm.
been in this community for a while. I started practicing with Patabi Joyce back in the old Shala. And my first trip was in '97. When there were very few people there. And Patabi Joyce was my first yoga teacher. I had never taken a yoga class until I showed up in Mysore, and I was self-taught until I came to the Shala back then, the Ashtanga Yoga Research Institute. And back then, we were allowed to, you know, the Joyce family was very, very available to us. And so, we could spend a lot of time with them and get close with them and understand the family and their culture and the culture around Padampada and traditional yoga. Yeah. And so anyway, I've remained quiet for all these years, just doing my thing, holding down a Mysore program, which I've held down a Mysore program now for 27 years consistently. Yeah.
That's
And
so wonderful. That's so
yeah, and
nice.
was given permission to teach by Patabi Joyce, back in when was it 98,
Mm-hmm.
and was encouraged to start teaching by one of my other teachers, Tim Miller, because after my second extended trip in Mysore, I moved to San Diego and I studied
Mm-hmm.
with Tim for an extended period of time. And when I was ready to leave, I was asking, where should I go in the Southeast to further my study? And he said, no, it's time for you to go off and to start teaching. And so when I got back to Georgia, I opened up a Shala in '99. And ever since then, I've been teaching 6 day a week,
Wow, that's
Mysore
so
classes. Yeah.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I remained quiet. And then I saw, all this stuff coming up with these fake certifications and the skipping over of how this lineage works with Patabi Joyce, Sharat, and then Saraswati. Yeah,
Saraswati. Yeah.
right. And then during Sharat's passing, wasn't many months after he passed, I see people posting certifications online, and then I start to question, how is this possible? How are we not talking? And people confused about, you know, who the lineage holder was now. And it's obvious who that is.
Of
And that's
course,
their,
and imagine I was there, first
right, yeah,
first row. I
right.
was there.
Yeah, and you gave me, you're the one who gave Bryce and I clarification on what was really going on. And it's obvious there's a big cover up happening here. Yeah. And it actually last night before I went to bed, and I had a really hard time getting to sleep last night after looking into this even more. You know, I revisited the original post that popped up on my page by Tim Feldman, and in him acting surprised that he got certification. And I thought about it a little bit more and realized what a lie it is. He wasn't
Absolutely.
surprised. He wasn't surprised that he got certification. This was set up before
Absolutely.
any of those people got there. So this is all based on a foundation of lies. Shruti doesn't know anything about certification authorization. She didn't even know the difference. And a mourning widow is not going to think about certifying people when she's still, when Sharat's ashes haven't even really cooled off yet. And so there's manipulation going on in the background with this. It's obvious. People can gaslight all they want. People can ignore it all they want. But this takes the legitimacy out of these certifications.
Absolutely. And why do you think, many certified teachers and authorized teachers have been writing me privately and they don't come forward? Because
Right,
I myself, I have no clue, we're both
right,
putting our
yeah.
neck
No,
here.
and I've thought about that as well, and you know, it seems to me, I've thought about this a lot. It seems to me that through Kino's popularity, people feel beholden to her. For some reason, they feel as though they might get canceled themselves. And that's why it's going to take someone like myself and you
Who
who are
don't care
concerned with
about
that.
being
Right. Yeah.
canceled.
We
We
don't,
don't
in
care.
Ashtanga, and I don't want to sound like a fundamentalist. We don't use props.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
need someone else to prop me up,
No.
you know?
No, and also,
So
the love for Sharaji, it's bigger than any of those worries, at least for myself,
yeah,
because watching them completely destroy what he had built, that
right,
we saw him. I arrived in Mysore 6 years after you in 2003 when they had moved to Gokulam.
right,
But I saw the magic, I saw how hard he worked, how he
yeah,
grew in his sadhana, in his leadership.
right,
And for me, as a witness of everything he did, he gave himself completely.
right.
This is total disrespect. And now, like you say, Guru Ma, Saraswati ji, she is the holder of the lineage in India. And I would say Manju is the
Yeah,
holder of the lineage in the US.
yeah, right,
That's the right way. That's
right,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I completely agree.
Mm.
And so, it's upsetting that more people aren't speaking out, especially when they've reached out to both of us and have voiced their concerns. But why, I
Exactly.
don't understand what we can in this moment in time we can lose the true meaning of Padampada.
Mm. It's very delicate. You're right. It's very, very vulnerable.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially, since I'm married to an Indian and I lived in India for 7 years and I worked there and I work with the Ministry of Ajush that has to,
Yeah.
supervise all the yoga schools and everything. I know a little bit about the Indian tradition
Right.
and respect, we feel for our gurus. And it's such a karmic and deep relationship. And when we find our gurus, and imagine for us that we're Westerners, you in the US and me in Costa Rica, traveling in those times all the way to India because we felt the pulling and we felt that deep connection from our soul, and then see it trashed by these people that have no right to it, that I don't know if they were maneuvering their way in with the family. I have no idea what happened, but I know that what I witnessed was wrong, and that I was one of the first victims of these newly certified fake teachers.
Yeah.
And now they're going back to India to teach again. Can you imagine? They just opened the application for the next season.
Right. No, yeah, I just saw that. And
Oh my God.
I don't understand why they feel they need to keep the Sharat Yoga Center open now when people
Exactly.
could just go to Saraswati, you know, and I don't
Absolutely.
understand why people from around the world would want to travel to India to study with someone outside of the Joyce family or outside of
I don't get
India,
it.
Indian teachers. Because like you said,
Absolutely.
there are many other shalas in Mysore. Yeah. And so why would we bring Western teachers into India and take the income away from the Indians?
There's a cultish culture that started happening in the following generations, not in mine, I
Yeah.
think, but right after, including some of my students, and it was very sad for me to witness, you know, these behaviors, this lack of discernment, this sorry, the word ass leaking everywhere, and
Yeah.
especially the circle around Kino and Tim that was very, very strong. But I cannot only speak about them because they were also certified teachers in this batch that I was in February,
Yeah.
and they got their husbands authorized
Ha.
as a token for them assisting during
Right.
that season. And that was wrong also. You know, you
Right.
cannot get your hand into the thing and try to get something for yourself. And there were
Right.
also, thank God, other certified teachers who went there and were also in shock about
Yeah.
what happened. And they were vocal about it. And I thank
Oh, yeah. That's
them. I
good.
thank them, a couple of them.
Yeah.
And this is important, Todd. This is important because for us, you know, it means, at least for me, 23 years of my life that I dedicated to my studies with Sharaji, and for you, you know, even more.
Yeah.
So how does these behaviors of this circle affect the whole lineage and community? What do you think?
I mean, you know, it's simply just it cheapens it. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it just shows disrespect for the family, you know, more importantly. Yeah.
And that means that those papers have no value.
Right. No
Any
value
new
whatsoever.
authorizations or certifications that are given by that school have no value. And this is important for the
Right.
new generations to understand that while Sharaji was there, he was a teacher, he knew the method, he had practiced the series, he understood the personalities.
Right. That's the important part is he established a relationship with these students and potential teachers, and you know, and especially for certification, you know, Patabi Joyce would have to get to know you very well, know your practice very well, know your personality, you as a person. Also, you know, there was a certain back then when Patabi Joyce was certifying people, you had to be a certain, have a certain quality to you, a unique quality. He wanted someone who was humble, you know, someone with a good sense of humor, someone that didn't take themselves too seriously or the practice too seriously,
Yeah.
but at the same time were very passionate about the practice, that understood the process, yeah, that
And had
had a respect for the family and the lineage,
had
understood
also
Padapara.
mastered the series, at
Oh,
least
that yeah,
the first
that
three
as
ones.
well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a reason why so few people are certified.
47.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
Uh-huh.
not counting the 5
Right.
in February. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
And that says a lot, you know, because at least when I arrived there and I started like hearing about the certifications and how inspiring these teachers are, those that were certified by our gurus before
right. Yeah.
this mess. It was an inspiration for all of us, not because we wanted the certification, but because we understood that it was possible to go that far, you know, to be so passionate about the practice, to completely surrender to your teacher, to trust them. For me, that was my inspiration. That kept me going also.
Right.
And now to see these papers in the hands of people that are shameless, I have nothing to say, but because I have asked them to relinquish the certifications and give an apology. You know, anybody can make a mistake. We are all mourning the death of our guru. And
Hmm.
say, you know, step back. This is not okay. You know, this
Right.
paper, I don't deserve it in these circumstances. Like we were speaking the other day, if they had offered us that
Mm.
paper, what would you have said, Todd?
I wouldn't have entertained it at all. No. Uh-uh.
No,
No.
this is absolutely upside down.
Right. Yeah.
So what happens now is that the new generations think that things are the same, you know, and that they can go there and we know that a Mysore room is a very, very delicate space,
Mm-hmm.
that there's a lot of energies happening there, and as teachers we are holding space for others to go
Right.
deep into their sadhana. What happens if the teachers who are holding that space are not, let's say, connected into themselves or have a
Right.
further agenda or are doing it for some other vicious intentions?
Right.
What happens to the students?
Hmm. Right. Yeah. It's not a good situation, you know.
Hmm.
And when people are using things like that, maybe just teaching at the shala or getting these fake certifications, you know, to try to bolster their reputation or their street cred, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
And
Their followers.
right, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, so they can post their pictures,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
in Instagram posts. And and for me, I've really tried to steer away from that. You
Hmm.
know, I tried to build trust and merit when my students on an individual basis. I actually
Hmm.
enjoy that, the
Hmm.
building of a relationship with a student, someone who comes in and doesn't really know me. I don't know them. They don't know much about the practice, you know, and we start Surya Namaskara A, Surya
Hmm.
Namaskara B, and slowly from there, building up a
Yeah.
relationship, yeah, and trust and not relying on, you know, fancy social media to build, you know, a fake reputation,
Hmm.
really, a
Hmm.
fabricated reputation,
Absolutely. Hmm.
you know. And so I'd rather start from the bottom and work my way up with each student coming in
Hmm.
individually, you know, because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not really about me.
Hmm.
It's about the practice, and it's about my love for the practice and how much the practice has
Ah,
done for me, and the enjoyment I get from sharing that with others
yes.
and going on
Yes.
that journey with them, each individually. Yeah, not about my
Hmm.
personality,
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
about my reputation online or my story online. You know, I mean, most of my students that come in don't understand my past. You
Hmm.
know, they come in thinking maybe I did a teacher training or something, which is sort of embarrassing, but but still, they
Yeah,
don't
but
know. They
usually
don't.
they don't ask you, who are you? You know, who's your teacher? They don't. They just
No,
come.
they don't. No, no,
Yeah.
and it's fine. It could be that way. You know, it is that way,
Yes, it is
and I'm
that way.
comfortable
You're
with
right.
that. You know, it
Yeah.
takes some time for them to get to know me and to get to know what kind of
Um,
teacher I am. You know,
mm,
and
mm,
then maybe
mm,
they'll
mm,
go off and they'll practice with one of these personalities. You know, that they saw on social media,
mm,
you know, that has 100,000, 200,000 followers, and they think that they're going to go and experience a teaching that's maybe deeper than mine or more inspirational than mine. And
mm,
then they come back and they realize it's not all about social media. It's not all about these fake images that people have created. Yeah.
mm,
And so we have to
mm.
be careful with that, you know?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think, you know, after internet came in, you know, in the 2000 it started, but then it got really bad after the
Hmm.
2010, and then
Right.
that we all somehow had to deal with it, you know, like right now we are using this tool, you know,
Mm.
I think in a very interesting way to speak against the current, and which
Right.
is not popular, which, you know, we're being so trolled,
Mm.
all of us,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we really don't care because it's about something bigger than us. At
Right.
least that's how I see
Hmm.
it for myself. Yoga, Sharaji used to say this, yoga is bigger than us, and yoga doesn't
Hmm.
belong to anybody. But
Hmm.
there's this tradition that
Mm.
is sourced in India. So it
Yeah.
should be taught by Indian teachers.
Right.
It
Yeah.
should be this river of knowledge, the Vidya. It should
Hmm.
be transmitted in a very coherent way.
Yeah.
And the Indians have a whole, they're born into this culture, and we Westerners barely understand it. We take a little bit, and then we twist it, like we say, and then we post it, and we basically destroy it.
Right.
And this is what has been happening not only with the Ashtanga lineage, but with all types of yoga in this Kali
Right.
Yuga.
Yeah, and in social media, it's important now. You can't avoid it, but at the same
Mm.
time, you can overdo it. You know, I mean, Patabi Joyce didn't want us putting out too many flyers back in the day when we didn't have social media to post on. You
No.
know, he didn't want us having too many pictures of ourselves to inflate our egos. You
Yeah,
know,
of
and
course.
didn't want us going out and teaching too many workshops. He wanted us to hold down a Mysore Shala.
Of
Because
course.
that's where the
Of course.
that's where the true teachings can be transmitted, not through
Mm.
workshops. That's like
Mm.
yoga candy, yeah. And we can't subsist
Aha.
on candy, you
No, and,
know.
and for the student, the teacher hopping doesn't really help.
No,
You need a commitment with one teacher, one
hmm
method, and many, many years. And
hmm
also all these newly, let's say, teacher trained teachers
uh-huh.
opening schools.
hmm
And people are so desperate now in these times, Todd, that they don't know the difference. That's
Right,
maybe why we're doing this, because we are both teachers that were there in times that social media was not so prevalent.
right,
And also the culture of the yoga celebrities, for me, it was always a monster. It
uh-huh.
was really disgusting. It was just
Right,
like this, oh my God, they are the sacred cows in Ashtanga.
yeah,
Like,
uh-huh.
what is that? We're all the same. We're all in the same predicament. We are in this world trying
Right.
to move through our karmas, and nobody is
But
better than anybody
right,
else.
back, I think that's something that really changed in the modern Ashtanga scene compared to back in the old Shala is there was no separation really with
Mm,
the newer students of Patabi Joyce and his senior students and teachers. We would
mm,
all just hang out together. I would
mm,
say that I probably learned just as much from hanging out and talking with his senior teachers and
mm,
students
mm,
than I
mhm,
than I did with him. Yeah. And and me coming in, I had, yoga at the time when I was studying with Patabi Joyce was not popular, especially Ashtanga. There are
mm,
very few studios, especially for me. I
mm,
came from a small town in Georgia. No one
mm.
had, before I showed up in India, I had never met anyone that had practiced yoga before. Okay.
Wow,
I
that's
was
beautiful.
I was completely green. Yeah. I had
Mm,
taught myself
mm.
through a book and a video that I got introduced through to from a young men's magazine called Details Magazine. Okay. I was actually working as a commercial photographer at the time,
Uh-huh.
and one of my clients gave me this magazine because he wanted some modeling shots done, and he had some pages turned over of some lighting he wanted and things like that. And so I was actually working in the dark room, and I put some film
Mm,
in the
mm,
developer, and this is back in the day of film. And you had to sit in the dark room while I was being processed, but then you can turn on the lights. And so I was sitting in there looking through this young men's magazine, and there happened to be an article that was done by a freelance guy that had just got back from Mysore studying with Patabi Joyce. And as soon as I saw those pictures, I was like, what in the world is this? You know?
wow.
And
Wow.
so read the
Mm,
article like 3 times, ended
mm.
up getting the Yoga Journal magazine and ordered Richard Freeman's video from the back, VHS video.
Yes,
So
yes,
I
yes.
so immediately, literally the next day, I got that video, I put it in, and from that day, for the next 32 years, I practiced 6 days a week.
Oh.
And eventually started saving up my money immediately.
Mm, mm.
And a year later, I was knocking on Patabi Joyce's door. And it still
Wow.
had never taken a yoga class, had never
Mm,
met anyone that had done yoga. I just
mm.
knew that this is something that I wanted in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, and once you start doing it, you fall in love even more. It's just like it
Right.
takes you
Uh-huh.
deeper and deeper. And I know it's challenging, and it has a bad rap because it's hard, and it demands a lot of
But we
courage.
thrive. I absolutely thrived on that. I love the
Mm.
intensity of
Oh
it.
yeah.
You
No, no,
know?
and the magic of Mysore in those days. I mean, we were there. We were like so lucky. That's all I
Mhm.
can say. So lucky.
Yeah.
But what do we do now, Todd? Please. And I
I just
encourage.
think that I think we just keep talking about it.
We just
It's
keep
the
talking.
most
And I
important
see a
thing.
lot of our colleagues here in this live. So please come forward. Please join us.
Mhm.
Somehow you want to do a live with me? Please, I'm here for all of you. We can keep speaking about it because it's not fair what they're doing. They
Mhm.
are taking something for themselves from something that is so sacred and that belongs to the whole of humanity, not to themselves.
And I think, I think that one of the best things people can do if they're not willing to speak out is just
Mm,
acknowledge Saraswati as the Param Guru
absolutely. Absolutely.
from
That's
here
what
on
I've been
out.
telling my students.
From here on out. I think
Yes,
that's what we should
yes,
do. That's the least we can do is to acknowledge that. And then of
yes,
course Manju. I'm sorry, I don't mean to forget Manju.
yes, of
I've never met
course, both
Manju,
of them.
but what I've heard in the videos I've seen, he's an incredible person. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
His
and
heart is in the practice. I see his
mm,
daughter
mm,
starting to teach, which is incredible.
beautiful.
And so
Yeah,
I send my support to him as well. But
of
in the
course.
sense of being in India, holding it down,
Mm,
Saraswati.
absolutely. So don't fall for these traps, because in the path there are many traps and they look very nice and they're
Right.
not necessarily safe.
And something else people can look into are these documentaries about how a Westerner comes in and hijacks even like Kundalini. Okay. So it's not
Yes,
real.
yes.
It's not real Padampada. The
Huh.
guru is fake. Not
Mm,
really a guru. But still, you can see how a Westerner came in and
mhm,
hijacked
absolutely.
that quote unquote tradition.
That
Yeah.
documentary was super shocking and it has happened.
Right. It has happened
Yeah,
and there's a playbook
yeah.
that people
Huh.
go by.
Follow. Oh.
Yeah, follow. It's happened in cults. There's plenty. You can look into
Mm, mm,
Scientology and see
mm.
how David Miscavige,
My goodness. It's
did the
scary.
same thing. It is, and actually, Bryce has a YouTube channel, and she has done a lot of really deep dives
Mm,
into
mm,
cults, and she's
mm,
really connected with a lot of ex-Scientologists, and they
mm,
have been contacting her, like people that were high-level Scientology, people that you see on Netflix specials
mm,
about
mm.
Scientology. Bryce has a relationship with these people, and they're contacting Bryce and saying this has all the signs of what
Absolutely.
happened to Scientology, you
Mm,
know,
absolutely.
and what happens to when cults are formed. Because usually when a
Mm,
cult is formed, it's someone from the outside who comes in and hijacks it and tries to replace the charismatic head of that
mm, mm,
before it was
mm.
actually a cult. And they're the ones
My
that turn it
God.
into a cult. They start isolating people. Anyone that
Mm.
goes against them, they start to harass. Yeah,
Me?
right, exactly. And so you can look for all
Of
the warning
course.
signs. They're all there. It's just what
Yeah.
happens is people are quiet, the
Mm,
members are quiet, and before they know it, it's too late, and they can't speak
mm,
out. No one.
mm,
They've already isolated the other members. They've already
mm,
smeared them. They've already started huge smear campaigns,
mm, mm. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
intimidation. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and
they have been
so
trying to silence me, and I'm sorry. I have my Guruji's inspiration. I won't be quiet because this is not right, Todd. This is not right.
right.
And we need to speak up and, yeah, acknowledge Guru Ma Saraswati ji. She is in India. If you want to go to India, please go study with her.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna apply for next year. I can't wait. I'm still like healing from my back
yeah.
injury.
Uh-huh.
But I know that she's the way, and Manju, like you say, also, it's like we are very, very privileged to have them. The loss of
Mhm.
our Guruji is so devastating, but there's hope. That's what I
Yeah.
I feel right now, and
Mhm.
and with you coming out, I'm so so glad
Yeah, and
because
I'm really at the end of the day, since I've kept to myself for so long, I really can't be canceled. Whatever smear campaigns you want to create, whatever stories you want to create about me, that's fine.
yeah.
I won't lose one student, and I won't lose one potential student.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah. Well,
because
I've lost a lot of things, but I don't care really,
yeah,
because if you're fighting for the truth, that's the meaning of life. That gives meaning to your life, and
yeah,
especially that's a way of, in a way, honoring my teacher and we both loved Sharaji, and I know Bryce also, and many of us who love Sharaji, we need to be with our eyes wide open because some people are really hijacking. They hijacked
Mm.
the lineage
Yeah,
last February, right
yeah,
there in front of everybody and
yeah,
smiling like if nothing had happened. And we were in a process of mourning, of deep sadness, and all of a sudden, these people are taking things for themselves without the merits on top.
right. Yeah, yeah,
It's beyond anything, Todd.
yeah.
So let's keep doing this. And if
I will.
anybody wants to join us, please, please do come forward because I know it's scary to go against the current. It's scary because, like in these social media days, we're going to be canceled, we're going to be trolled, we're going to be. I heard these people even had like armies of trolls in
Yeah,
Romania
yeah, whatever.
that
Yeah,
they're going to send against us, and that's fine,
yeah. And I've
because.
been through it before. I got a thick
Ah,
skin,
wow.
so yeah,
We are protected by our Guruji's
yeah.
grace. That's what I feel. Really.
Hmm.
And it was no coincidence that all this happened in Guru Purnima.
Right,
Thought
yeah.
because I had already let go of any hope of finding any support. I was sometimes
Uh-huh.
asking myself, maybe, I went too far. And when you came out and I said, no, no, this was right. This was
Right.
completely, I was not loony like they have been
Yeah,
calling
no,
me.
and
She's loony.
yeah,
No.
and I was giving it a pause because I had thought about
Ah,
coming out sooner. I was giving it a pause and just seeing if anyone else was going to come out. I mean, LaRuga, she had some stuff
yes.
to say, and her
Yes,
husband
yes,
did.
and David,
And I respect them
yes.
for that. Yeah, and
Me
I just
too,
think
me
that
too.
in
Thank you.
time, more people will come out and say something, But
Mm, mm,
really, all that needs to be said
mm,
is that Saraswati
mm, mm,
is the Param Guru, and she's the only one in out of India that
mm.
can certify and authorize people. And I'm
Yes.
sure if there's someone who deserves it, that she will happily give that to them.
And I know, like Johnny is writing here saying that their method of teaching is differently, but more than the asana or the method, for me, what matters is to be in a space that is spiritually protected.
Right.
Because when I was in that shala in February, it felt dark. That's how it
Mhm.
felt, Todd. It felt
Right.
scary. Uh, Teachers were there, but they were not empowered. They were not being channels of the energy.
Right.
And when all these events happened, of course, because there was a lot of darkness in this. For me, what matters the most is to be in a space where I can let go, when I can
Mhm.
surrender, when I can,
Right.
do the practice, even if you do have primary, it doesn't really matter, where you
Right.
feel safe. And
Uh-huh.
when you don't get injured like I did, because I got
Right.
injured because that darkness was in the room. That's
Hmm.
what I have
And
to say.
right. And yeah, and I do recognize that the teaching is a little different, but you can also look at it as a
Mhm.
pilgrimage,
Yeah,
back to India,
yeah,
somewhere that you can separate yourself from your everyday life and go within,
yeah. India is
yeah, and
super beautiful.
disconnect and be able
Mhm.
to just focus on your practice,
Mm.
and
Oh
yeah,
yeah, lovely. And
and
Mysore
also and
is
also to support the family and to be around the family.
exactly, and Mysore is so beautiful, and we have been there so many times. It's like home for us.
Right. Yeah. And
So
and
yeah,
I
of
always miss the
course.
food.
Please go to India. Please, I'll be back in India very soon for Diwali. I can't wait. I miss India so much. It's part of my life, and
Yeah.
uh, I hope to be soon also in Atlanta and meet you
Yeah.
both. And I
That would
thank
be
you so
incredible.
much. Thank you so much
No,
for
you're
coming
welcome.
out, for having the courage to speak up. And
Mhm.
those of us that are doing this, it may look like like a crazy thing, but somehow I know in this attempt to preserve the teachings, there's a lot of love.
Yeah,
There's a
and
lot of love for
it's not just
Sharaji.
creating drama for drama's sake.
No, 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 no.
I don't
It's
want to do
not being
I don't want to
quiet.
I really don't want to have to do this.
No,
Nor
no,
do you. Yeah,
no.
but it's something that's needed. So it's not useless drama, you know?
Exactly. It's when
And
someone
understand,
is trying to do something wrong to say, hey, that's wrong, neti neti, that's not it. Look, this is
right.
not
Yeah,
right.
and
Yeah.
and the very nature of truth is belligerent. And so,
Mm, yeah,
you
of
know,
course,
it,
of
it doesn't
course.
it doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always look good. Yeah. But that's truth for you. If you can't take that, then be
Absolutely.
careful, you know?
Yeah, and then maybe if you want to be popular, you want to be in the good books of Shruti, and then you won't come forward, but then you're going to betray yourself.
Right.
Because acknowledging the truth of the matter is knowing that the lineage has someone in charge right now, and she's a beautiful teacher, and she's 84 plus, and she's there teaching right now, and we have to honor her and her brother, and know that there's still hope for us, that we are not lost, that we have not lost all of those years, that our Guruji Sharaji is somehow with us in a different way. That's how I feel it, because it happened in the Guru Purnima. I was
Right.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's no coincidence, Todd.
No. Okay. Well,
Wow.
I've got to run off because I've got to actually teach
Yes, you
my
have
son
to teach.
class.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm holding you back. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Thank you
okay.
so
No,
much.
no, this is important. Yeah, but it's good to see you again, and I'm really
Thank
honored to
you.
be on with you,
Thank you
and I
so
look
much for
forward.
being here.
Oh, of course, and I look forward to next time because this is not going to be it.
No, we'll keep speaking. We'll keep moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you. And
You're
send you a
welcome.
big hug.
Yeah, you
Please
too.
take care. Enjoy your
You too.
class.
Yeah, thank you. All right,
Bye
talk
bye.
soon. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so
Welcome.
much. And thank you, all of you that are there watching and that have been sending messages. And I know Johnny is not ever going to be the same as what we had with Sharaji, but it's also about moving forward and letting go and trusting that he took us all the way until he was capable of. And now we need to keep moving. And we don't need to feel despair. We can always say the name Hare Krishna, and the light will move us forward. That's my experience. And like Todd said, it's not comfortable to speak the truth. It's not popular. And I'm known for this live, for my blogs, for my podcasts. I'm gonna be troll, and I don't really care, because when you are standing in truth, you know it. And when you are somehow negotiating with illusion, you also know it. And I don't recommend that. And I'm not trying to convince you, but maybe you need to go to that shala and experience the darkness, and maybe experience an injury like I did. And they don't even have CCTVs in the shala, so if something happens, you are on your own, like I have been in the past 6 months on my own. And I really encourage you, please, certified teachers, authorized teachers, come forward. What happened in the shala, these fake certifications were not okay. That's a disrespect for Saraswati, who is now in charge in India. Please go ahead, apply to study with Saraswati ji, with Guru Ma. What a beautiful way to return to India and not fall in the wrong places with the wrong people. Because the energy that is around you affects your practice, affects your mind. And if you're surrounded by thugs, if you're surrounded by people that are, fragmented inside, you cannot move deeper into your practice. Go to a shala where you feel safe. That's my recommendation. And in the meantime, practice at home. And always, always honor the truth. And the truth will take you wherever you need to go. Thank you all. Thank you for joining, and please share. I would really like you to share this live with many others. Go to Ashtanga Magazine in Facebook. I am posting Todd's video that he did last Thursday, and you can listen to him and his reasons for speaking up now after 26 years. And also go to my blog, Walk the Talk, to my podcast. Everything is in this social media. Let's use this social media for yoga revolution. Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much.